It's not about the situation and it's not about the other person. It is about you and your consciousness. If you are looking to make shifts in your life so you feel better, happier, and healthier, it all starts with what you hold in mind. And if you don't believe me, go check out my last video where I break down the science behind how our brains work and how it changes our perception of reality. In today's video, what I want to do is walk you through my worksheet on daily transformation. You'll want to start with the worksheet in front of you, and if you don't have it yet, you can get your copy from the link down in the description. Now, this worksheet is based on the idea that when our consciousness changes, everything around us changes. Now, this isn't to say that other people don't share in some of the responsibility for whatever situation we might find ourselves in. But you are only responsible for cleaning up your side of the street. This is all about doing your own inner work. It can lead to clarity about a decision, to healing in a relationship, peace of mind, and acceptance. But most of all, doing this work leads to transformation within yourself, which then echoes out and has a positive influence on almost every aspect of your life. So grab your worksheet and let's walk through it together. Question number 1 says, what caught my attention? Now, throughout our day, there are certain things that we just gloss past, and then there are other things that really stick with us. And sometimes we will notice these themes that are coming up in our life again and again. This question is essentially asking, what have I been noticing lately? Something catching our attention, making us pause, or giving us this inkling within us that says, there's something off about this. Is Spirit's way of showing us that there is something deeper here that is ready for us to explore. Sometimes what we notice can be a signal that we are out of integrity in an area of our life, or maybe that a habit we're doing is no longer meant for us. Sometimes what we notice is just an offhand comment from a friend or even from a movie or a commercial that for some reason just strikes something deeper in us. So don't overthink it. This very first question is really just about, what am I noticing lately? What caught my attention? Now let's move on to question 2, which says, what is the story that I am believing or telling myself? As you begin writing down the story, trust your stream of consciousness and where it's leading you. These are meant to be your completely open and honest and candid thoughts. It's essentially adding the color and the detail, the story behind what it is that you are noticing lately. If you get stuck, you can reread your answer to question number 1 of what caught my attention and ask yourself, what is it about this? What's the story here? Or why does this matter? Write continuously without editing or censoring yourself and without worrying about how it sounds. This is about getting everything out on the page, because as you do this without overthinking, we often discover what is waiting for us right below the surface. Then question number 3 asks, what am I not facing? And this is an opportunity for you to just center in, find some bravery, and just be completely honest with yourself. When you review your story in question number 2, you might find that you are placing blame and responsibility almost completely outside of you. But then when we get to question number 3 and figure out what it is that we're not facing, we usually find that there is some aspect where we have responsibility and need to be accountable for our part in creating the situation. And so in order to grow and transform and change, or even just answer the question, what is God trying to show me here? What is it about this? Where am I being called to? What am I being encouraged to grow or to change or to learn? The way that you answer that question is by being brave enough to face what you haven't faced before. This can be the hardest part of the worksheet because it requires you to step away from your own perspective and start to look at this story from anew. It can be really helpful to reread the story that you wrote and just sense in and ask, does anything feel untrue or not quite right? Is there anywhere where I am being unfair or perhaps not looking at what my own role in this situation is? That brings us to question number 4, which is, what thought or belief am I ready to shift? Now, without doing question number 3, our temptation might be to go to the other person and tell them what they need to change, what they need to do differently, the way they need to look at it differently. So in step 3, you recognize an aspect of yourself or the situation that you need to face. And step 4 is inviting you to then look at what is the thought or belief that has been contributing to this that I am ready to now shift. Saying I wonder is a really loose way to start exploring something and getting curious about something without feeling like you have to find the right answer. So those wonder questions open us up to divine wisdom, to getting out of our logical, analytical thinking brain and allowing that deeper intuitive wisdom to come forth to the surface. Once you've identified that thought or belief that you are ready to shift, we move into creating a new mantra. And a mantra is a short, simple statement that is easy to remember that you're going to use to replace this thought or belief that you are ready to let go of. So it is a positive and affirming statement that you are going to use to train your consciousness to start seeing this inner transformation that will then lead to transformations in the situation and probably in unexpected ways in your life. Here are some tips for creating a good mantra. You want to use first-person statements in the present tense. So this is a statement of being, a statement of who you are, a statement of how you show up in the world from an ideal perspective. I am statements work fantastic here. In order to see a shift, you want this statement to be something that is in your adjacent possible. What that term means is that it is something that may not feel 100% true, but you could believe it. You could see it being true. Essentially something that feels like it is possible or is true some of the time, but you want it to be true more of the time. We expand not by being in poverty and then saying, I am a millionaire over and over again. We expand by identifying the story and then the thought or belief that is behind that story, such as this is all I can reasonably expect to make. Once we have that thought or belief identified, our mantra is in our adjacent possible, so it's something we could see ourselves moving into consciously. For example, I'm open to new ideas about making money, or a new job with better pay is right around the corner, or Spirit is guiding me to prosperity. Spend some time creating your mantra and massaging it and reworking it until it is something that feels possible for you and is also short enough and easy enough to remember that you can use it going forward in your daily life. Once you're done writing your mantra, drop it down in the comments so we can all celebrate it with you. And then let's move on to our final question, step number 5. Step 5 is an opportunity for you to figure out, how can I act as if my mantra is already true? If you 100% believed your mantra and it truly was true for you, what actions would you take? How would you live? How would you show up in the world? Aligning our actions with our intention is one of the fastest ways to see transformation within us and in our lives. My mantra is, I have meaningful friendships and I draw out the best in others. So what would a person who has meaningful friendships do? What does drawing out the best in others look like? What actions can I take to live into that truth? So this is all about embodying the new consciousness you are trying to move into. Essentially, what you're doing here is finding some tangible steps so you can act as if your mantra is already 100% true. And that will help you see results faster because you are aligning your actions with your intention. Now that you have your worksheet filled out and you have gone through this contemplative practice to figure out what is that story, what is that thought or belief I'm ready to shift, and what new mantra can I create to start shifting that, now the work becomes daily. Take your new mantra and put it on sticky notes or index cards, write it on your bathroom mirror, record it on a voice memo on your phone, make it the background of your lock screen, whatever you need to do to be constantly aware of that new mantra. And every time that old story or that thought or belief you're ready to shift pops up into your mind, use that new mantra to make that shift. And then don't forget about your 3 actions that you can use to start living into this new belief. And let me know how your experience is working through this worksheet for the first time. Can't wait to hear from you, and until the next one, love you.